Yes, hello.
Hello. Oh my words. Now I'm gonna hold on before you start throwing incredible, hilarious chatter and banter my way. I'm just gonna check people in the chat can hear you. Okay.
Yes.
So if
1, 2, 3, can you hear us?
If you can hear these pair of losers.
Hello, I am loser number 1. Loser number 2. Speak up.
Hold on. Have you already decided that you were loser 1? Because if I was sDan, I'd be a bit annoyed that I'm not only a loser, I'm now the second of the losers. Can't even win at being a loser.
So how's it going, buddy? You doing okay so far?
It's going really well, yeah. We've absolutely smashed any sort of target I ever possibly had for this thing.
Fantastic.
It's ridiculous.
Nice.
Like I put because you know you have the little bar that goes across, you know, the little donation bar, you know, the little like the little thermometer that goes up, right? As you're raising money, like you have to put an end goal into it. So I was like, well, $500 is a pretty nice number. That'd be really good if we could get to $500. Sure. That'd be incredible. Because the last one of these I did was I think we raised something like $350. So I was like, okay, so if we put 500, that's a good.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's like a good. We're currently sat at nearly $1,600.
What the heck? Way to go, everybody! Which
is insane. So everyone has been incredible, and it's going incredibly well. So I imagine now you pair on, we're going to be getting some requests for refunds, but hopefully it'll still.
That's just the risk you took.
Hopefully it'll still cap out pretty well.
So we're going to double it by the end of the day, is what we're saying.
Oh yeah,
that's the challenge, everyone. Challenge.
Well, that'd be crazy. So I'm just gonna tweet and let them know that you goons are on here with me. So for those of you who don't know in the chat, you should do, because they're both awesome. But if you don't know, I'm joined here by sDanWolf and BeyondDrewTV. I still want to say Beyond You. You haven't used that name for like a year now, right?
I know, it feels natural though. I understand.
But I still want to say you. But it's BeyondDrew. He decided to use his real name. And they're both content creators in their own right. They both make fantastic Planet Zoo stuff and Planet Coaster stuff and all the other stuff. But they also do a podcast from time to time called Take2 Podcast that I've had the pleasure of being a guest on. And I thought it'd be quite cool to sort of break up the afternoon by having you two on to have a little chat. So guys, what is it? What is Take2 all about? What are you guys about? What do you take the lead for this? Okay, I'm becoming a guest on my own channel now. All right. So,
no pressure. Okay,
cool. Yeah, where are we up to with stuff?
So Take2, that was kind of sDan and myself have just always kind of chatted about whether it be Frontier or the Planet series or just simulation gaming, you name it. We just kind of always chatted in the background. We're like, why don't we just do this IRL and record it and put it up there?
Yeah, there were so many cool conversations between us that were just completely like, it was just us. It was wasted. And we're like, there are probably other nerds out there that would like to hear us chat about this stuff, but it was just us. So
yeah,
we're like,
you two are sitting there going, do you know what? This is fried gold, this. Why are we not bestowing our wisdom onto the world?
Exactly. So we did a few episodes, especially when the Planet Zoo hype news reel was going on there, especially. But now that the game is actually out, we've kind of gone into our little holes, our little concaves of our own zoos and stuff like that. But we do plan on doing some more episodes in the future. So
yeah, I think when a game first launches like this, you kind of have to reel it all back and do the groundwork, right? The foundation, which is just getting that initial content out, right? The sort of the collaborations and the think pieces that can all come a little bit later. But I think to start off with, we all have to, like you say, that's a great way of putting it. We all have to go back to our little YouTube holes and be like, right, I've got to go do my own stuff for a bit, you know?
Right. Can you believe the game hasn't even been out a month yet? Like,
yeah,
it seems like
crazy.
I've been playing it for a year.
Yeah, it's really crazy. And I wonder if that's because of how much of it has sort of bought over from Planet Coaster, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, it feels like a familiar friend, just with a new coat of paint on it or something, you know?
Mm-hmm. It looks like a familiar friend with a new coat of paint, but they've had a head injury, Like,
Yeah.
because there's a few steps backwards in some places. Like, I'm sure you used to be able to do this. I'm like, no, I'm struggling.
I've forgotten. I've had a bit of a brain injury.
Yeah,
that's so funny. But they're slowly coming around. This recent, my God, 400 patches or bug fixes. That's insane and appreciated. But they still do have a bit of work to go to get us back up to the Planet Coaster levels. And, I know they'll get there one day, but I'm still just a bit baffled why we're not there yet.
Well, I think, too, from the jump this time, though, like as far as community feedback, whoever has taken that over, they're like, right, we need to get on this. They want this. Let's do this. Whereas before, they would give us stuff that was cool that we kind of, we thought we needed or maybe didn't know we needed. But now it's like straight up, if we didn't want, restrictions in Sandbox, bam, we don't have restrictions in Sandbox. It's such a quicker pace now.
Yeah,
seems.
Definitely. I just want to read out, we've had a donation. Sorry. Molly donated $5. Love the videos. You're doing such an amazing job. Here's to another 7 hours. Oh, Jesus, Molly. Thanks for...
Don't remind me.
7
Thanks
hours.
for letting me know that one. Wow. Okay. Good stuff. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think one thing we've got to kind of remember is that Planet Zoo has been in development for probably close to 3 years by the time it's launched.
True.
So I think what we have to do is remember what Planet Coaster was like 3 years ago, and really imagine that divergent. You know what I mean? Like it was a fork, and the Planet Coaster development went one way, and Planet Zoo went another way.
Sure.
And there's much less crossover than I thought there was going to be. But I think if we can just accept that, and then hopefully, like you say, we'll see the fixes. This most recent one was awesome, but
man, and as far as that lighting goes, I mean, I hate to say it, but I want to, when I go back into Planet Coaster nowadays, I want to projectile vomit over the screen. The lighting is so terrible compared to what we have now.
I mean, tell us how you really think.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, because I did jump into Planet Coaster. Actually, it was like 3 weeks ago now. Shoot. But anyways, yeah, it was after the beta, and it is a stark difference. And it gets mentioned a lot, but it just makes me so excited for the future of the Planet series, whether that be Planet Coaster 2 or whatever they decide to do, because it is Frontier knows how to make a beautiful and a great sounding game all the time.
Well, I've always said this. I think, and I think they still have issues when it comes to the actual sort of gameplay. I don't want to necessarily say management, but actual just. I think they struggle a little bit with making really good gameplay, but their audio and technical sound departments are some of the best in the business. Really,
it's crazy,
incredible.
The art departments,
and I think it's not even. We kind of talked about this a little bit in our little group chat that we have, but I don't even think it's a Frontier thing only. If you look at, there's kind of this awesome new tycoon and simulation game resurgence since like the late '90s and early 2000s. But a lot of those games, these new games, are trying to just recreate the same formula from, again, those late '90s and early 2000s game, and it doesn't quite translate into this big 3D world that they throw us into now with all these new creative possibilities and stuff like that.
To be fair, don't necessarily put it all on Frontier, because like you say, if you look at something like City Skylines, for instance, I mean that's another one of those ones where you can start the game, you can put down XYZ building, make this little box and then go away and come back a couple of hours later and you've got $5 million in the bank,
it's sandbox mode then.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, basically. And so I do wonder if it is like this sort of modern, and also like 2 Point Hospital, I found, had that as well. If you kind of got that to a decent level, it just kind of there's a weird like entropy in management games at the moment where you can just get it to a point, or almost like lack of entropy, I suppose, really, and that like very rarely does anything really make you come on and figure stuff out, and all they seem to do is they don't necessarily make things more difficult, they make stuff more convoluted. So like, okay, so
more micromanaging.
Yeah, now you've got to click this and this. It's like, really, it's not, you're not actually
like
changing anything, are you?
You're making it like work almost.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So.
But overall, I mean, I'm still having an absolute blast in it. Like you say, it is gorgeous. The animals are fantastic. How they move around and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that going back to our earlier points, talking about why maybe some aspects of sandbox mode from Planet Coaster aren't in this game is because I think they probably had to focus on this new kind of coding with the animals walking around and doing their thing. And, the climbing code, I can't imagine what they had to do for the climbing animals. That's kind of insane how they calculate in real time what they can walk on and climb up and just do and stuff like that. So I'm sure there was other priorities before, and that's why we're starting to see these updates come kind of rather quickly in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I think we're going in a good direction with the game here.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse Fish, for the donation. Just started watching the stream from Australia. Australia? It must be really late there, surely.
Jesse,
or is it
Australia?
Or is it early now? I get it might be early now, I suppose. Someone who studies conservation. This is an amazing cause. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Jesse.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, has anything in the game really surprised you?
Man, a lot. I'm trying to. I find myself. What surprised me is how much I find myself watching the animals. I like zoos and I like the idea of zoos and everything like that. I've always gone to them, but I didn't really think I would get kind of enveloped in watching the animals just hang out in the area that I built. I think I would build a habitat, move on, build a habitat, move on. But I always find myself going back to how's my timber wolf doing? Are they getting along? How are they liking the lake I built them? So I guess that's kind of my surprise for me.
Yeah, actually caring.
Right.
One thing I was kind of worried about a little bit at the beginning was, remember how before it released, how we thought how attached we were going to be to the animals? Well, with the way that the sandbox launched, I kind of found myself more aggravated with the animals than really being attached to them.
Yeah.
So many alerts and problems and dying of dehydration, drowning in the pond I just built them. So that as kind of maybe a little bit surprising to me. I thought I was gonna jump in, and it was, but with the notifications and the constant attention that those needed, even within sandbox mode, I was kind of okay, well, I'm not as attached as I thought I was going to be.
I kind of love that. And basically, those are completely opposite answers. Drew was yeah, I'm really surprised at how much I actually want to watch the animals. And Stan's I'm surprised at how annoying they are.
Well, I mentioned this to, I think, Stan and a few other people. It's I come from originally being really into the management and tycoon aspect of these kind of games. And I really only started being, I guess, creative because Planet Coaster was so lackluster in that area. So I was well, I got this game and I love theme park games, so I guess I better play it a different way. So I was almost pushed into being creative. So I almost don't fully mind all the notifications, because that's another thing. I'll go back and actually manage the animals and be oh, you're thirsty? Well, let me help you. What can I do for you? So I don't mind that.
I like having to get the habitat. Some of the new sandbox features we got were literally turn everything, the animal just becomes a drone,
Yes.
You can turn all welfare off. And I haven't done that because I do quite enjoy checking back and seeing if they're happy about the foliage and they're happy about But saying that, once it's done, once that habitat is done, I want to then be able to say, right, okay, no, clear off. I'm not really interested anymore.
That's how I felt when this update dropped. I'm I've sat here and cried for 3 weeks about not wanting welfare. But then when I turned all that off and I was zooming around, I'm well, wow, really, I guess what's the point in this?
Well, I suppose it's the equivalent is in Planet Coaster is being able to turn off all roller coaster, and just being able to put down
right.
ridiculous roller coaster that would kill someone and all the guests be happy about it. That's kind of the equivalent, isn't it? There's got to be a rule set to build to, else like you say, what's the point? Yeah. Another donation coming. Thank you, Amber. Amber says, amazing to see the support for conservation through this game. Loving your content. Thanks for raising money for a great cause. Cheers to you, Amber. Thank you.
I'm just going to yell people's names.
So there you go. For the next hour, if you donate, Drew will bellow your name.
I will.
That's how that's going to work.
The donation, the higher the bellow. There it is.
I think the stuff that surprised me the most is I genuinely do. The thing that's really surprised me, I think, is how lenient the game is in certain areas. I really did worry that it was going to be a game where you drew out a square of grass and you had to have 6% dirt and 12% snow, and you had to have this rock, and that is all there to an extent. But I think good thing about it is that, like, if as long as all the other stuff is okay, you can have slightly wrong foliage, and or as long as everything else is okay, you can maybe make it a little smaller than it needs to be. You know what I mean? Like, that sort of leniency really helps, and the terrain and stuff that you can do, and the animals are okay with it. I mean, it's really quite. I mean, if you look at either say this that I'm building now, for instance, or like the red panda one, I think is a really good example. As if you saw the red panda exhibit I did. I never thought we'd be able to do anything anywhere near as sort of convoluted as that, you know. And that's what I'm really quite happily surprised about.
Rudy made a fairy tale castle in a book, and his animals were okay with it.
I mean, exactly, yeah. I suppose that's the idea, is that they've kept that sort of construction and habitat thing completely separate, you know, so that you can do what you like as far as construction is concerned. The animals aren't going to care at all, and I do quite like that. Although I think that sort of storybook thing is probably a bit too far for me. You know,
that's the extreme example.
Yeah, I still kind of like to build in a bit of a realism, but just the fact that you can place all this crazy rock work down and stuff, and the game just goes, hold on, just give me a sec. Okay, here's where they can go. That's, you know what I mean? Like, I just really like that as a feature. Yeah.
I think what's kind of cool too is that you can have kind of both worlds. Where I'm friends with a lot of Simmers, Sims 4 players, and there's been a lot of great crossover. And I find that this game is really hitting a nerve with both communities, where you can have the Planet Coaster creative builders come in and we do our thing, and then a lot of the Simmers, I find that a lot of them haven't really cared about the building, where they just have been like, I don't want to learn it. It's no, and they can like take that time to really hang out with the animals and kind of do what we're talking about, just kind of relax with the game and manage and stuff like that. So I think Frontiers kind of struck a really good nerve with kind of both balancing it out pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of Sims crossover we've noticed. Really cool.
But I'll agree with that I've noticed less that that they're not building particularly creatively, which has quite surprised me actually, because I guess, like you say, it's a different tool set, and especially from like content creators' point of view, they've got to sort of weigh up as to whether or not it's worth learning it, right? You know, like if they're putting out a Sims video that gets 1 million views or whatever, is it worth spending the 50 hours you probably need to get proficient at these Planet games to get a video that gets 100,000 views or whatever, So I do wonder whether or not the barrier to entry, because the barrier to entry is pretty high with Planet games, right? As far as detailing goes.
Yeah, no, this is, I mean, if you're especially comparing it to people, because a lot of the Sims people that I'm friends with, they only play The Sims, and that's it. And so they're very familiar with a really easy to use UI that has been built up over the years and stuff like that. So the transition between the Sims games and the Planet games, it's like having learned CAD or something like that.
Yeah, in the same way with us. I think a lot of times we forget, we've been playing with this system for almost 5 years now. So people come in and they're like, my God, how do you guys do this? And
it's like you just do it.
It's like it's been almost 5 years we've been doing it, and every day of our lives almost. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I play other stuff, but like, this is probably the only sort of real creative sort of style game I play, like I've got this. The main reason I used to adore The Sims, played 1, 2, and 3, like really a lot. The thing that really pushed me off 4 was the loss of the hex wheel. The hex color wheel, and it went to a like a swatch system, I guess, and because of my color blindness, I really struggle with those swatches because I can't. They're all pastels and lovely colors, and I can't tell. Hold the phone.
Do we have a big one?
Squantoon with $100 donation.
Squantoon.
That was impressive. Thank you so much, my friend. There's no message. I hope you didn't type a message and it got removed or anything, but yeah, there's no message, just a $100 donation out of absolute nowhere. Just incredible.
Squantoon,
what a legend. Sorry, sDan, what were you going to say?
The thing that you guys have been going back and forth about, Paralives.
Oh
yeah.
That has got me quite interested.
Paralives, if you don't know, is an indie developed Sims, basically, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Right. It's like this dude has set out to everything that everybody has always wanted out of the Sims. This guy is making that.
No kidding. So far, so far.
The only I'm very excited about the Paralives, and I tell you what I'm more excited about, how much of a buzz it seems to be getting. Every tweet he puts out gets thousands of retweets.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. The other thing that's really exciting, I'm gonna have a look. Hold on 1 sec, because I want to show you this. I want to tell you something now. Paralives. Here we go. 41. Oh, he's not anymore. Never mind. Fair enough. Okay, so he was following about 12 people, the official Paralives Twitter account, and I was one of them. But it's got now. He's now the only person they're following is the developer, Alex.
No, it's a bit legit now.
He's obviously, somebody said, you need to kind of. But I know Alex follows me, and we've chatted and stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited for Paralives. It looks awesome. When I say it looks awesome, it looks like an incredible building builder right now.
Right.
Like we haven't seen.
Yeah, we kind of have to rein it in a little bit. But on a smaller scale, it does kind of seem like do we think it has the potential to be what Planet Coaster was to Roller Coaster Tycoon World?
That's an interesting comparison.
Dethroning that,
Yeah, and like I said, it's not the first time. City Skylines to SimCity. It seems to be a bit of a thing now that
like a handing of the torch.
It might be able to kind of wedge its way in there, and maybe
Well, it's set for. I mean, John T, you mentioned you played Sims 1 through 3. I did the same. I loved that Sims before then, and then Sims 4, it just didn't connect with me for a number of reasons. But I've said for over a decade, like, why has there not been a competitor to the Sims? It's just like such a.
No one's tried to take it on.
Well, actually, I did find out that people have, but not to get controversial, but EA sued them into not making the game anymore.
Sued them into oblivion.
Yeah, maybe so. Basically. Yeah.
Because they said it was too similar of a game, so I'm like hoping they don't do the same thing to Paralives.
A little Alex guy better watch out then.
That's what I'm.
I suppose. Yeah, the thing is that it's similar, but I mean that in its own isn't a problem, right? So because otherwise you wouldn't have Planet Coaster, for instance. You wouldn't have. I don't know, like all the different football games. You wouldn't have Madden and. What's the other football?
2K,
because they're both football games.
Though, when you look at that stuff, you think they would have to battle Frontier's lawyers, whereas some little dude like in the middle of wherever he is, France or wherever, he's not going to be able to take on EA lawyers.
They could just get muscled out. Yeah.
Whereas when these big studios get behind these games, the other studios are like, all right, it's going to cost us a fortune to fight that. We may lose. Whereas this guy, he gets sent a cease and desist, and it's over. He can't fight that.
Maybe, but hopefully that's somebody in the chat has just said. I will wait and see about Paralives until we see some actual gameplay, and I completely agree with that. But what I will say is, the reason I'm excited is because the game could release as it is, and I'd be happy. Like,
no kidding.
I would be quite happy with it. At the moment, it's basically like House Flipper 2, right? That's kind of the
prettier.
Yeah, the moment
it's like if you look in that tweet thread that they posted yesterday, and people were asking questions, and they answered a lot of their questions back. People were like, "Okay, so the food there, are we gonna have to go grocery shopping?" And they sent back a winky face with a "I'll reveal more later." And
I mean, that's it.
You want a deep game,
but but again, you can over.
Sure.
Yeah, so like I said, I agree that that gameplay of what the actual paras, I don't know what they want to call them, what the actual paras do, I guess, and how they interact with the world and stuff. And like you say, at the moment it's very freeform. The stuff they showed has been very freeform. So whether or not a lot of that comes across, but to be honest with you, even if you just released it as a look at Planet Coaster, look at Planet Zoo. The actual sort of gameplay side isn't as hot as the freeform building nature, and so I'd be happy with just the freeform building nature. I just enjoy creating scenes,
Right.
Could you guys imagine if what if Frontier kind of took on the Sims one day, and we had a Sims type game, Planet Universe. You know,
that grown
apartments and our little planet people kind of living their lives.
With a little more detail, the planet style of people I think would work pretty well for a Simmy type game. To be honest, they've got a lot of character, you know, from the animation side of things.
Yeah, like remember their console announcement with the little dad and the daughter and
it's awesome,
in the little apartment or whatever. That was
speaking of those guys in like future Planet series, do we think that the characters will stay the same throughout the future Planet titles that are potentially coming?
I think they're probably they'd have to.
I think they'll need a. I think they'd need a. I think like Planet 2, for instance. I think they'd need a. They need to do more. I think the art style will stay the same, but I think they'd need they'd probably go for like real eyeballs.
Yeah, not
you
the
know,
cartoony.
Yeah, I think it'd be that. I think the style is perfect, and that sort of like slightly over, slightly overcrafted design is great. But I think they would have to they'd have to sort of shine them up and a bit more detail and stuff there. I think like I'd like to see the beards have more like hair definition as opposed to just sort of like big plasticine lumps on them, you know.
Look how many different directions they could go with that, though. Like we were talking a long time ago, Planet Prison, Planet Golf, just all of these type of Planet Hospital, all of these different little offshoots they could go with this universe. It just makes you wonder, like, okay, right now, November 29th, 2019, what are they working on? Like, what did they go in and they're working on the studio right now?
Yeah,
you know, that's still years off.
Yeah, because they're going to have a few things going on. I always remember about when we went to the studio tour, to show us some Planet Zoo footage, and they gave us a tour of the buildings, you know, and they were like,
they blocked some stuff off.
Well, there was one thing. There was like a painting on the wall that was like covered in a sheet that had a sticker on saying "Do not lift this up." You know, like down the corridor they have like artworks of all their games. I'm pretty sure it was a Planet Zoo one, but that was covered up because the Planet Zoo was very much kind of just a Saturn, like a little 10-minute demo. But they gave us a tour of the building and they said, so here's Planet Coaster and we walked through there, and then here's Planet Zoo and we walked through there, and here's Jurassic World Evolution, we walked through there, and then there was another bit and they were like, that's more Jurassic World. And we were like, yeah, okay. Like, like we don't understand. If you're bringing out a game every year, there must be like 2 or 3 in development, really.
Exactly. They're not just making a game for next year. They're making a game for 3 years down the road.
Yeah. And all of their little financial reports and stuff say like every single one since like 2016 says they want to do one release a year. Like that is what they're working towards. No more
That's
like
fine with
waiting 2 or 3 years for a release. They're really, and then plus we know they got the big 10-cent infusion. So they've got the cash behind it to make it happen. They've got like, I think Jonty said they have like 500 on staff now.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
They look like they're kind of wanting to corner the Tycoon simulation revamp or rebirth renaissance, I guess. Right now,
they definitely got a good head start on it, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, other studios are just doing one-offs, like they have 2 Point Hospital, or City Skylines, just City Skylines, or whatever. So no one else is really branching out and doing a whole bunch of them. They'll be the bullfrog of 2010s.
Well, there's another one I'm really excited for. I did miss a donation. Sorry, why did I not hear that? Malova, the legend that is Mr. Malova. Thank you,
Mr. Malova.
Yeah, look at that. He's come to bother you, Drew.
He has. He follows me everywhere.
I said, "Oh God, anything but Planet Golf." I already work as a golf course.
Yeah, that's interesting though, isn't it? Because you get a lot of zookeepers play Planet Zoo, but golf keepers are like, nope.
I'm sure if we get Planet Garbage Man, that garbage men aren't going to be like, yes.
This Planet Zoo, like as far as these charity streams go, isn't this like this game is set up perfect to help them? I mean, you think like you could do a charity for like theme parks, but they'd probably kind of be like, just bug off, dude. We don't. It's like,
I mean, what would it be? It would be like
if theme parks don't have the help. It's like, well, that's just on you. manage your stuff better. But zoos need help. Like that's
definitely,
keep
well,
going,
especially like with Toronto Zoo, even though it's one of the sort of big it runs at a loss. Like it takes a lot of money from the government, and ticket sales are something like 20% of its run cost or something. They need this money to get them sorted. I suppose a theme park charity, it would be like a Make-A-Wish kind of thing, right? I suppose it would be helping getting kiddies there and stuff. But that, like you say, it doesn't really benefit the park, right?
They don't need to donate for the new B&M to go into the park.
Exactly.
That's why we'd be like, that's on you guys.
Yeah. Anyway, let me read Malova's thing because he's only going to bitch about it until I do.
Of course.
You knew I was going to donate for charity again. Every penny counts. Exactly right, thank you. $300 to go. Woo! You got this. Thanks, pal. Say hello to the boys for me. You can say hello yourself. They're reading the chat, I'm sure.
Yes, we are. Hello, Malova.
Don't forget somebody said don't forget the bins and stuff. I won't. Don't worry. We're still working on the interior yet. We've got to do a cover. We need to do they've got no hard shelter right now, so we need to.
You got to throw a rock over them.
Pretty much, yeah. I might just do that. No, it's going to have to be a little Asian pagoda type thing.
That has been an irk of a lot of people, particularly when people are trying to do the natural shelters. You wouldn't believe how many people like message me or I see on the forums, why isn't this counting as a shelter? So that I think that might be something that needs a little more tweaking as well.
From what it often seems to be, it's that it's too low down. They need a lot of clearance above them to class as being able to walk under it. I've noticed that.
I think that was the problem with my hippo underwater tunnel as well. It needed to be so large for them to swim through, I
mean, when I'm building a habitat, H is my favorite friend, like H is one of my favorite hotkeys now because that brings up your overlay for the heat maps. So that one, whenever I'm building habitats, like you said, for like water things or caves or anything like that, always checking to see if the animals can traverse and all that, because that's the worst when you build a giant habitat. You're like, all right, go ahead, animal, and then it's like it can't move anywhere,
can't get to it. So here then, let's have a look at this. I've put that down. I think that's probably too low. Let's have a look. Oh no, they're okay there. So I do wonder though, maybe if that's the problem. These are just like baby ones, I wonder if it's just the fact that it gets too low.
I found myself for the hard shelters using the pre-built Frontier blueprints a lot more than I probably should.
Beg your pardon? That's swearing here.
It's blaspheming.
Yeah. No, I don't think I placed a single one down. Somebody mentioned that you can now hide them from here. Like blueprints show up here and there's a way to hide them?
Yeah. In the menu now, there's a little looks like what do you call those? Not a protractor, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, a little compass. Blueprints off. Oh, fantastic. Oh god, that's awesome. Yeah. Does that stay as well? Will that help? Will that hang around?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm in the game. Let me see.
I hope so.
Because that's always the thing. They never save. All right, let me close out. Go back.
Welcome back, Bitsy.
It does not save.
Oh no.
So you have to do it every time.
Oh no.
Stinky.
See, one step forward.
Yeah, but well, that's it. I mean, that wasn't a thing, so now it is, so that's fine. I guess that we're getting it. Another donation coming in. Wow, Gizmo with another $100 donation. She's insane. Oh. I think you cut your mic out for a minute then. It was that intense.
Oh no!
Thank you so much. Sorry to hear about the giraffes. Yeah, I'll say. Did you hear about this, guys? Yeah,
in Ohio.
How awful. So what we've decided is that some of the money from today is going to go to them as well, rather than all to Toronto. We're gonna split it up because that was terrible that happened.
What was
last
the fight? Was it not? I know it's sad. We don't talk about it much, but 3 giraffes, 3.
It was 3 giraffes, 3 river hogs,
that's it,
a springbok, and some okapi. Really, so just like a selection of ungulates that have. Do you know? I don't know if you've looked. I'm not going to put it in the chat again, but if you want to go and Google it, you can do. But there's a news article, and it's got photographs of like the zebras and the giraffes running away from the fire, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. It's such an awful thing, and there's just thinking that these animals haven't got just don't know what's going on, will they? You know,
well, they were stuck in a barn.
Yeah, just to sit there and think. Well, there's one zebra managed to get out, but just to think that they're there and feeling safe, and then suddenly they
right.
They don't. They just go, oh god, I'm getting teary up thinking about it. It's awful.
No kidding. Yeah.
But so we're going to make sure that some of the take from today goes over to them as well, which I think is worth doing.
Good.
Yeah. So come on, then somebody's
just help with that with $5.
Oh, and so yeah, look at that, Sarah Cream. Thank you very much for the $5 donation. Love your content. Hope to raise lots of money for the animals. So that one sounded a bit like scary. That one did, Drew.
Oh, it's supposed to be saucy. Sorry, it's supposed to be like Sarah.
Oh, really? It sounded like.
We have a question for you as well. If you have a spare 17 to 15 minutes, maybe, what series do you always try to catch?
What a weird number. 17. When I sat there like, I've got 17 to 15 minutes free. Who do I go and what?
Who nowadays besides Pond Shrimp? Like who do
I catch up on? Pond Shrimp's a really great series. Been really enjoying her work. Obviously, you guys watch, both of you.
Thank you. Have you been keeping up with Planet Botanic?
Yes, of course. I think he's Mike's latest one, the Water Garden. That sort of circular. Man. I mean, I said this before. It looks like a different game. It doesn't look like the game I'm playing.
What is he playing?
Yeah,
It's like he has an upgraded package from us. He's playing in April or something.
Yeah, it's just insane. Yeah, it just manages to make the stuff sing, really does. And like, who'd have thought, like him and Pond Shrimp both do it, like who'd have thought I'd give a crap about plants? They make it like essential viewing to watch this talk about plants.
The only thing that stinks about Mike is, and a lot of people that don't know, is he's probably going to have to disappear here in a couple months.
Yeah, well that's it.
We will not hear from him for weeks and weeks with his job.
Because his work, he works in botany, and he's incredibly seasonal kind of work, like it really is. I mean, like, pardon the pun, but it is literally make hay while the sun shines. It is one of those where you've just got to get on it.
Well, right now, he sent a picture in the Bro Nation Discord of his front porch, and right now his front porch is snow-covered mountaintops.
Oh, okay. Oh, so we're all right for now.
Yeah, so right now nothing is growing.
We need to enjoy him while we can.
Yeah. Yeah, because he does, unfortunately, it is very, very seasonal stuff. So make the most of it. And obviously, Mast Bandit, my buddy, he's really sort of found a groove. He struggled a little, and I think he'll admit to say it as well. He struggled at first to find his Planet Zoo place,
Sure.
And he's another thing too that like with his work schedule and stuff, kind of similar to mine, it's so much just coming home and having to sit on the computer from like 5 to 11, 5 to midnight, and it's like trying to get these episodes together, and and hopefully on maybe you have a free weekend, but then there might be family stuff going on. It's kind of tough to juggle a everyday upload schedule and learn a new game. Just trying to do it like quickly in the evenings, And
that's kind of funny you say it like that. Actually, real quick, shout out to Finley, Mr. Malova's nephew, who's watching the stream today. Hi, Finley.
Hey, hello, Finley. Why aren't you in school? Oh no, hold on. Half 11. Oh no, he's finished school now. It's okay. Carry on.
There you go.
I say his nephew. He could be 18 for all I know.
But the other thing that you said is learning a new game, which is funny to say about Planet Zoo since it is in the Planet series. But I did find myself, especially in the beta and the first maybe day or two of the full release, kind of almost stumbling into the game, being like, okay, I know where everything is and stuff, but I feel out of place.
Right. So. Could you imagine brand new people that have never even heard of Planet Coaster or not theme park people just jumping into this? Like, oh my God.
Just spend a day just on the foliage.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. But I think who else am I enjoying? Like I kind of same with Planet Coaster. I watch anything really. The only stuff I'm not really into is and not that it's bad, it's just doesn't really appeal to me, is the like the high leveler guys, who come along and sort of play it for 5 episodes,
I make a zoo, but it's the worst zoo ever.
Yeah,
100
stuff
tigers
like that.
versus 100 zebras.
No,
Yeah.
again, like Jonty was saying, there's obviously an audience for it, so not diminishing anyone, but
and to be honest with you, like I am the audience for other games, like I think it's only because I'm invested in this game so much, and I know it so well, I suppose, that I'm not particularly interested in that kind of stuff. But I'll watch like silly videos of another game, or like a few episodes or something. Like I watched a couple. That what was that one out this week? The Metal Gear Solid guy and the guy from Walking Dead. I can't even think what it's called now.
You got me.
Death Stranding.
That's the one, Death Stranding, yeah.
Okay.
And like that's the sort of game where I saw that I was like, you know what, I'm never gonna buy that. But I'm interested to kind of have a little look at it. So I've watched a few episodes of that somewhere, and it's been silly, and the videos are quite funny. Sure. But yeah, when it's something like this that I'm invested in, I want to see other people play it well,
Actually, I'll shout someone out that I think deserves more views all the time. He just uploaded a video about an hour. Ruble Trillions.
Ruble.
That nerd.
He's working on a zoo called Tivoli Zoo, which is basically a recreation / play on the Denver Zoo's master plan that the Denver Zoo's working on right now. And holy heck, if you all are into realistic building, that is where you need to be at right now.
Yeah, he's like completely taken that sort of Planet Coaster model train set aesthetic and moved over. Like the rest of us. I think even people like Mike and John, who are also that sort of invested in the realism. I think even those are, because the Planet Zoo is new and it's new eyes coming to the channel and stuff, they're like, okay, so let's build some big entrances and stuff, and whereas Ruble is like, no, I'm going to carry on doing exactly what I'm doing. And like episode two was like a car park,
exactly,
and it was incredible. It's so well done. But he's just, it's really refreshing to see somebody who's not chasing the views at all, and it's just like, nope, I'm going to play this how I want to play it,
Well, and he it's the same reason I was really interested in Pond Shrimp and others is he's actually knowledgeable what he's doing as well. You can tell that he's not just going in like, well, I put a bush there because it looked pretty. It's like you learn something as you're going through there.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Pond Shrimp too. I was telling Drew is she is so wholesome, like absolutely not trying to, she's just, it's like the epitome of having fun with her. She is it's like she's just playing the game, having fun, and the YouTube and the recording stuff is just a byproduct of that.
Yeah.
That's what I like about, going back to Pond Shrimp. It's so refreshing to watch her builds and some of the idea. That's another thing I'll tell you about when I'm watching series and stuff, and not a dig at anybody, but I rarely find myself wowed, like, oh my God, I've got to watch this and keep up with this and what's going on next, what's going to happen with Pond Shrimp. And then especially when she brought Mike on, I was like, yeah, I got to watch this. Like, this is awesome. Really, really interesting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people say, like, oh, where'd you get inspiration from? And a lot of it comes from real life. I spend a lot of time looking at zoos, but a lot of it comes from other YouTubers, and I don't really see it as like stealing. I think we all sort of always sort of swap ideas over and say, oh, that was really good. I'll use that, and oh, that was a really good idea, and you could maybe repurpose that. Like I was watching. Oh, thanks for the donation, Kim84. Keep up the good work, John T. All for a great cause. Thank you very much. $10 in the pot. That was. Don't say that was. Oh no, it's Kerm. Sorry, Kerm with an R.
Oh, Kerm with an
R. There you go. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I was watching. Do you know Belanier on Twitch?
Oh yeah.
Awesome Twitch streamer who does a lot of like simulation games and stuff. He put down this piece the other day. Hold on, let me show you.
That bubble, I didn't know it was even in the game.
Yeah, right. This is it. You see, this is I watch other people and just see stuff. So, hold on. Here, this one. Look at that. And he did this. Good. Boom. And he's like, there you go. There's a viewing it. There's a viewing bubble. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And he built rock work around it.
No idea it was in game.
Yeah, so I inspired by. Can we be friends, John T? Of course we're friends. You're here in chat, enjoying yourself. That's what friends do.
Drew, we've got like 15 minutes left. Do you think he will hit his goal before we have to exit.
Oh, what are we up to here? About under 100 or
Let's have a
under
look.
200?
We've got, no, a bit more than that. We've got $170 to go. Pond Shrimp's in the chat. Hi, Pond Shrimp. We've just been totally hating you off.
Shrimp.
We've just been
Pond,
totally...
we have been fanboying over you here.
We didn't have, yeah. No, it is really refreshing, and you can go back and there's proof of this. There's proof of this in live streams and stuff. People were saying to me like, "Oh, who are you most excited about seeing make stuff in Planet Zoo?" They were like, "Oh, who are you really looking forward to seeing stuff from?" You know, and I obviously said all the people I've been just mentioned before who watched Planet Coaster. I was really excited to see what Silverette did with it because I love his sort of slightly fantastical style and was really interested to see whether that translates to Planet Zoo. I think it does. I think his builds have been amazing. But you know, but I said the one person I'm really looking forward to seeing is somebody I haven't even heard of yet. Because there will be somebody, just like there was with Planet Coaster, there will be somebody, maybe even a few, who just out of nowhere, you know what I mean, just turn up and start rocking it. People who've got no interest in coasters at all have been sat there waiting for a zoo game.
Right.
You know? And
if
just
you
show
look on
up
the Bro Nation Discord, I'm trying to find their name. There's a few, if you go in... share and critique for the zoos. There's this Carlos guy that's building a South American zoo that if you look at the pictures, you're like, that's literally South America.
That's real life.
Right. Carlos is doing an incredible job.
I'm missing some Ricey's putting out some
Books, his stuff's pretty good.
Books.
Yeah, there's a few that are just, like I say, just not Planet Coaster players at all, but just out of nowhere, just rocking up and making some awesome stuff. Thank you very much, sDanWolf.
What'd you do?
He donated $20.
Gotta help the cause.
Thanks for having me on.
That's awesome. So what are we up to now then? 140 something?
Yeah, although sDan, you did kind of miss a trick because we now realise that BeyondDrew will shout out anything that is written into that box. You could have had a lot of fun with that.
Thanks for having me. Okay, I'm delayed.
but yeah, no, that's there was people said like, who are you most looking forward to seeing? I said, I'm guaranteed there will be somebody who rocks up who you've never heard of and will kill it. And so far, there's been a couple. There's a guy called I think it's Jurre, Jurre, has done Planet Coaster stuff. Did do Planet Coaster stuff, but never really.
Or Vandenhan or something.
Yeah, never really broke out. But his Planet Zoo stuff's really good as well. I'm hoping he puts out some more stuff soon. DJ Rowley, thank you for the donation there. $32.34. DJ Rowley.
DJ Rowley.
That fits. That sounds right? DJ. Right. That's how DJ Rowley should be said.
DJ helping out the cause.
Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I'm in between $100 sandwich on the donation. Does that make you look cheap, Mr. Malova? It's got like $100, $29, $100.
So speaking of all these awesome new content creators in general, I think it's funny, as we mentioned it before, is to keep in context that again the game's been out like a month or so, and we haven't had we haven't had any new content put into the game yet. We haven't had a DLC put into the game yet. My God, I'm just excited. It's really exciting.
So DLC then, where do we think we're going with that? How do you think it'll follow a similar sort of path to Planco? Because you got to remember, we didn't get, although we got a lot of free updates, we didn't get a paid DLC in Planet Coaster for nearly a year.
Right.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people forget that.
This.
Do you think it will?
We're going to go that route. Oh, sorry. What'd you say, Stan?
I was thinking that the paid DLC comes a lot quicker this go around than.
Yeah.
Well, because I still have a theory that Planet Coaster wasn't done when they released it, and that's why we got a free update for a year, because they released it and
and you think this is?
Well, it's done enough.
Yeah,
okay.
This one it's doneer. It's got a little more leg up than Planet Coaster had, kind of ish.
It has a lot of
we've talked before, like maybe this game could have stood a Christmas time release, maybe even a Black Friday type of release. But compared with Planet Coaster, I think I just think it stands on its own a little better this early than that did.
I think so too. Like you mentioned earlier, Jonty, but it's really hard to remember out the gate Planet Coaster just how limiting it was. I mean, I can't even remember how limiting it was because it was literally so limiting, and somehow we still built good stuff. But yeah, I could see DLCs coming a lot sooner. I'm almost surprised we didn't get an announcement for Christmas time around here, but I could see one in a few months for like a polar DLC to get some polar bears and stuff like that in the game.
And wasn't Best in Slot? I think he just put out a video not a couple days ago that was talking about remember one of the guys. The full tour.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to finish your sentence. That's all. The full tour donated. The best new planet creator is, of course, the full tour. $50. Right, he's just spent $50 to advertise his own stuff. So I think that deserves. I'm gonna look. You better have some videos I can send people to now. After that, let's have a look. The full. And pretty. Oh, this is a good one. Pretty Princess Pony donated $5.
Okay, we've got 10 minutes, Drew, to finish off this last, what, $70? $30?
Nice. Can we have that again without sDan talking over it so I can save it as a sound clip?
Oh, sure. Pretty pony.
Beautiful. There we go.
So what was their name before that donated the 50?
It was the full tour. The only thing I can find when I search for them is other people's full tours of zoos.
They're not Let's Game It Out or Paralives or.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Paralives is here. No, nobody's paid him to be here, so he won't be here.
I mean, I'm having fun watching his series, by the way.
I love Paralives. Like I was saying again about Paralives, it's a shame because he did some really great Sandbox Planet Coaster stuff, right? If you remember back, it would have been really nice to see him take a more of a sort of sandboxy route. But no, he looks like he's doing a few franchise episodes and wandering off that transport. Yeah, exactly. That's it. You know, Transport Fever 2. It looks like it's going to be big for a lot of those guys. So I can totally understand them moving towards that. Donate now, please. Donated $5. Thank you very much. Donate now, please.
Donate now.
Please.
Please.
What were you saying about Best in Slot doing a video about DLC?
Remember he was saying like is it Bernie that has disappeared to the Arctic?
Sure, yeah. Spoiler alert for the franchise mode. For the campaign mode, yes. But Bernie goes to the Arctic and can't be recovered. So that would make sense from a story point of view, yeah. I don't know. See, I can see it going a few ways. One, I think the thing is with Planet Zoo is that the animals are much more of a focus than, say, the coasters in Planet Coaster were, you know? So you could get away with free updates in Planet Coaster being some scenery and maybe one ride or something. Whereas I don't know whether that will fly with Planet Zoo. I think any update or paid update especially it's going to have to be like the majority of the content is new animals, you know, and then scenery and whatever else bolsters that, you know?
Yeah, and that's why I can see them being, like we've talked about, like an Australia pack or an Antarctic pack. So it's not just like, okay, here's a reptile animal pack. It's like you have to have something, like you were saying, you have to have something to go along with it. So Australia, we can have like an outback scenery set to go with it, or what name, you know, insert.
And you know, one thing, now you guys know me throwing something extremely wild out there, but you know, Jonty hates speculating, hates leaks, but remember the early summer leak talking about in talks with Disney. What if we get an Animal Kingdom pack one day?
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I'd go with that. Right, hold on. Donations are going crazy here. We've got to go through these. So,
Designy, I owe her a magnet. I've got to mail her magnet out.
Designy.
Right, hold on.
Was that it?
No. Chat, you're behind, aren't you? We've hit it.
Oh my god, we did it.
This is insane. Right. There's more. They're going to keep going. You guys are a bit behind on the video.
We're lagged behind a little bit. Teen guy who's still in nappies.
Yeah. Go ahead. Teen guy who's still in nappies.
Teen guy who's still in nappies.
And McManus NL as well.
Manus.
There you go. So let me just make sure I've got all of those now. So we got Pretty Princess now. Donate, please. We got that one. Designy, thank you so much. $10 donation. Oh my god, we did it. Donated $60. Thank you so much. That was the one that pushed us over. Keep up the good work from Teen Guy who's still in nappies. You know what nappies are, right, you guys?
Are they PJs?
No, they're diapers.
Oh.
Okay. And then almost there, people. By the time it's gone through, we are there. Fantastically, McManus. Thank you so much.
$2,025,
which is pretty
89
insane.
That is.
Oh my god, this is like. Honestly, to help those little animals, it's crazy. It's genuinely makes me fill up a little bit thinking about.
Man, good thing we came on your stream.
I know we'd have been. We'd have had like $20. Oh my god, they're still coming in. Here's another one. Hold on, I can't keep up.
Too much.
Hold on. Epic Sarcastic Wasp.
Epic Sarcastic Wasp. I love that name.
Donates $20. And also, oh my god, let's make it 3,000 has donated $5.
Let's make it 3,000. That's right, yeah. Well, how many hours you have to go?
Oh god, I think we're halfway now. This is the halfway point right now, pretty much. Yeah. So we've done...
So yeah, $4,000 by the end of the day.
No, it doesn't work like that. It slows down as the day goes on. I'm gonna set the donation. So hold on. What's the oh no, that's the wrong box. Hold on. Donation goal. What's the current goal? What's the current the amount? Sorry.
2050, 89.
250.89 cents. Okay, I'm gonna set it at 2.5.
Okay, you're gonna get that. Everyone's just look at everyone go.
I mean, we're putting it up in 500s because I would hate to put it too high and not hit it. You know, like I would rather overshoot the last one.
Sure.
You know.
Man, this is not a small amount of money to sneeze at.
No,
it really isn't, right?
That is really going to help.
Yeah.
You'll have to let us know what they end up saying, like when you like when you get it to them, or like what are they going to do?
So
with
to be honest with you, like I say, the original plan, I was thinking we'd get like $500, right? And what they I'll put it up on the screen so people can look, because I think people will be interested in this. What Toronto Zoo do, and what a lot of zoos do actually, is they have this animal sponsorship system in place, right? Mm-hmm. So you can go along and you can sponsor an animal, and okay, so hold on, let me get it up onto the screen. It'll be a few seconds after for you, but here we go. And basically, they do this thing where you give X amounts. Oh, I've just knocked the speaker over. You give X amounts, and it. Oh, hold on, my headphones have fell out. Don't talk a sec.
Okay, we can say anything we want to about them. Okay, let's say all the dirty dirt that we want to. So,
no, I can still hear you. I can still hear you. It's just going through the speakers and not the headphones. Right, there we go. So, what was I saying? Oh yes, they do this thing. Here. So basically, I thought, well, the original plan was that whatever we raise, we'll pick an animal and give it to that animal, right? And then. But the thing is, they do them in these packages, so it's like $50, $20, whatever. So for $500, which was my original plan, I was like, okay, we'll get $500 and we'll pick this wildlife protector pack. But what that is a a little certificate saying the Geekism community has sponsored this animal, and you get a little fact sheet and a little thing off the animal saying thank you for keeping me alive, that kind of thing. But then also you get a behind the scenes tour of the zoo, right? Ooh. And I thought, well, the problem, I said, so basically that's not, we're raising money for animals, we're raising money for Jonty to have a nice day out at the zoo there, aren't we? So I was like, we can't do that. So then, they've got $100 one, which is the species ambassador, and that's basically all of that stuff, but without the tour. So what I thought was, if we get to 500, we can pick 5 animals, and we can sponsor 5 animals, basically. And then maybe over the next couple of weeks, we can build habitats for those 5 animals in the game, and kind of do it that way. But this amount of money is just... I mean, I don't know what to do now. Do we sponsor 20 animals, or how do we do it?
Wildlife Guardian is that?
So it's basically the same thing, but it's a tour for 6 people. So you get like a behind. Gotcha. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know 6 people in Canada, so we can, that's not going to work either way. So yeah, I thought. So I think we'll probably do species ambassador. But what I might do now, because it's a larger amount, I might just get in touch with them and say, listen, we're looking at making. A decent donation. What is there maybe like a way of doing this, like a little certificate? Right. You know what I mean? Like a special one.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they could let you come and vlog it too.
Yeah, I mean, if you could go over there, but like I say, I want to make sure it isn't that we're raising money to give me a day out at the zoo. If I want the money to go to the animals, so as long as they can do they can do something. But yeah, we can maybe go. I mean, there is already a tour of Toronto Zoo on the channel, which was just me wandering around. We went a few weeks ago, and that's why I really want to do this.
People would want to see that, though. But, if you got to go behind and see all
that. Definitely. Like I say, I'm definitely going to get in touch because, like I say, I thought it'd be a few $100s that we could just. I mean, you just click this button, right, and go through the purchasing. I was just going to do that.
I wonder if they think your email is just going to be like spam. Like, I have $3,000 we want to donate to your zoo.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I'm a Nigerian prince who who wants to donate. Yeah, that's going to be the issue.
You all are my sole heirs.
Yeah, so that's the plan. The only thing I really do want to do though is they do a holiday package with a reindeer and they do a polar package with a polar bear, and I really want the reindeer and the polar bear for Xander. That's like the only thing I really want to put my foot down on is that you get a little reindeer Teddy and a little polar bear Teddy.
It's the least you could get them.
Yeah. So I'll maybe get in touch with them and say
I think that'd be the best route now that you've gone this high up. Yeah, get in contact with some manager or something. Make sure it goes somewhere good.
Yeah, that's the plan, I think. So, right, hold on, let's turn that off. Right, gents, thank you so much for joining me. I know, I think on the plan, let me just jump over to there. So the plan now is to go back to Nuna Kanata for a little while. I'll be completely honest with you, though, folks. I'm absolutely starving, and I've not planned for that at all. Like, I've got snacks, but I feel like I need to get a burger or something in me. So there's a little store outside. I'm going to take a 15-minute break. I'm going to run and get something to eat, okay? So first of all, what you all have to do right now is you have to go and follow my buddies, sDan and BeyondDrew. So I'm going to throw their channels in the chat. Hold on, because...
You got another donation. Do the tour.
Oh, my God. The tour. Do the tour. Rounding up to the next 100. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Okay, well, maybe we'll look at... I'm not going to just buy the tour thing, though. I'm going to get in touch with Toronto and say, right, come on, what we doing here,
Right.
Yep.
But hey, dude, thanks for inviting us on. That was really...
You're so welcome. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Man. I'll be honest with you, it's really killed an hour. So
you're right.
That was a quick hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly. I think I've got Mass Bandit is going to come on for a chat in a bit as well. He's not advertised because he wasn't sure whether he'd be able to make it or not. But he's going to come on at about 1:30, and then
I'm excited for your Pulsley.
And then the Pulsley build up is really good. I don't know if you saw Pulsley did a stream the other day for 10,000 subscribers. So and he did this thing where basically he said, call something out and I'll build it in 5 minutes, and it was hilarious because it was awesome. Because they were so shit, but it was really good fun. I was like, listen, do you want to come on and we'll do it like a competition, like we'll do
that'd be awesome.
We'll do it.
You know what the cool thing is now too, Drew? We don't have to edit a podcast.
There you go. We could just rob the audio of this one. There you go. Right, I've thrown them into the chat. Take a minute. I'm going to go and take a quick break. Make sure you head over to BeyondDrew or sDan, and you can watch one of their videos while I'm having 15 minutes.
Look, I think everybody's going to take a little 15-minute break with you. So this ended up working out pretty good.
There you go. Everyone's going go and get lunch. Go and rest your eyes. Go and look. What is it they say? 20, right? Is it every 20 minutes you should spend 20 seconds looking at something 20 feet away? Like when you're on a screen all day. That's what they call it, like the 20. So every 20 minutes, just look out the window for 20 seconds. Basically, I try and do it, but I haven't here. So I'm going to go and rest my eyes outside. But yeah, you could. But once we're done here today, both BeyondDrew and sDan are working on awesome stuff. So you've both got a series going at the minute, right? So BeyondDrew, yours is Thornton Hills Zoo.
Yep.
And sDan, is yours named?
Mine is New Planet Zoo Save File.
There you go. That's the name. Catchy. It's catchy. I was just thinking awesome. Then, I said Thornton Hills Zoo, and I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot what
I literally just
I was like, no, it doesn't have one.
Yeah, I just started building stuff.
You did, yeah.
And it just turned into a zoo. Like,
I think you mentioned it in the video.
I actually can't get out of this now. Help.
Yeah. No, go for it. I think, to be honest with you, I found that as much as I've enjoyed the habitat builds, like the singular builds, I find that the full zoo series does better for people. I think people are more interested in a full zoo series. Which surprised me, actually, because I didn't think they would, especially with so many coming from The Sims. which are pretty much exclusively single builds, right? Because you build a house or whatever.
We were wondering, like, what are we gonna do when this drops? Like, everybody had their own little way that they were gonna do it, but I just fell into the let's just keep building on this zoo thing.
Let's just go for it, yeah. But I think how I've got a bit of a mix now is working quite well for me, because like the full zoo does good, but then if I want to move away and build some like African thing or something, I can do, and it's not sort of thematically out of it,
Yeah, you can build a pirate ship with a crocodile or a saltwater crocodile going.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. Thanks so much for
an aquarium.
Oh God, do you know what? I know we didn't even talk about it, but give me an aquarium. That's it. That would make, honestly. I'm such a fan. I'm more of a fan of aquariums than zoos, massively. Yeah. I
won't get to enjoy it because I would be dead here.
Yeah.
If we got aquariums.
Oh man.
But anyways, thank you guys. I'm gonna jump on out of here too and go grab something to eat.
Yeah, thanks very much for joining me. Really appreciate it.
No problem. All right, we'll see you.
And everyone else, folks, I will see you in about 15 minutes. Gonna go and grab some lunch, and yeah. So have fun, have a good break. I'll see you back here in about 15 minutes for more Planet Zoo, raising money for the Toronto Zoo and also the Ohio Wildlife Park. Thanks, folks. Have a good break, and I'll see you soon.